From FedEx Forum and the American Home Shield Studio, this is The Odds Couple on GrindCityMedia.com. Handicapping all the football action, here's Rob Fischer and Lang Whitaker.
Hello, good people. Welcome to The Odds Couple. Super Bowl week, Super Bowl 54 upon us. San Francisco 49ers, Kansas City Chiefs, and the Atlanta Falcons. I don't think that's true.
Well, I felt like I needed to be Switzerland in this case. I got Kansas City over here, I got San Francisco over here, and I'm stuck in the middle. So I broke out a Super Bowl 51 jersey, that my one thing. I actually felt like burning this thing a few times since Super Bowl 51.
Yeah, understood.
But, Kyle Shanahan's last Super Bowl trip.
Yeah.
We'll see how this one turns out.
Representing Kyle Shanahan, absolutely. Yeah. We will look at all the numbers for Super Bowl 54. We will look at some of the props, some of the great props for this Super Bowl as well, including some props that have nothing to do with the game, which are some of the best.
Those are the best ones.
Those are the best, yeah. We'll go over those. We'll have our picks for the Super Bowl as well. Lance Taylor's going to join us from WJOX in Birmingham. We will chat with him about the Super Bowl coming up this weekend as well, get his thoughts and his picks for the game this week. We'll hear from some of the participants as it is hype week. Last week, I guess, was hype week. This is the real
game week.
Get down to it week. Although watching the media party, whatever that's called now, on Monday night, it's still kind of hype for the Super Bowl week. I've been to 10 Super Bowls, and each time the one thing that gets you when you cover a Super Bowl and you're there for the entire week is you get down there on Sunday the week before and you have an idea of who you think you're going to pick and who you really like in the game. By Friday, it could change 5 times.
Yeah.
Because of all the guests that you talk to, the players that you talk to, everybody you talk, people start convincing you otherwise. I think this week is one where every day you could change your mind. I mean, the point spread's only 1.5. Yeah. So you're talking about a Super Bowl that could go either way, that your mind could be changed every day.
Because usually the Super Bowl, you think it's going to be maybe a 3.7 point game. Like this one's the one that's the closest I can remember in a long time. And there's so many little things that could tip this thing one way or the other that even in my mind, I've kind of gone back and forth on it. I know probably Roser hasn't. I know probably you haven't. But I think for most fans, you probably you could go either way with this thing, depending on which way you get out of bed in the morning.
Well, and I think the great matchup obviously is Kansas City's offense against San Francisco's defense. But then you start looking at the other side. Kansas City's defense against San Francisco's offense, and I think Roser, I mean, as a Niners fan, a Niners diehard, you could be swayed by how good those two units are.
I mean, the Chiefs, 25th in rushing defense this year, so people will look at that. The truth, like, you look at total points scored this year, Kansas City was 3rd in the NFL in total points scored. San Francisco was 2nd. So the fact, the stuff that the Niners offense is just, it's all been running like it has.
See, it's something like that could sway you to think,
it has been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But that was not the case during a lot of the regular. They started out running the ball, but then when they lost defensive players to injury, they started throwing the ball more and getting it around. And Garoppolo came up big in some big spots for him.
Yeah.
So the fact that people think that they can't throw the ball, that's just wrong.
Right.
They can.
And don't just look at the NFC Championship and think, they don't throw.
And the fact
they didn't need to throw.
And the other thing is the fact they play on the West Coast. There are a lot of people that don't see them unless they play a Sunday night game against Green Bay or a Monday night game against Cleveland. A lot of those games they don't get to see because they're out on the West Coast.
Well, it's a good thing we're back to the regular season then. I would also, what else has swayed me was we played on Madden yesterday. We played the Chiefs against the 49ers in the Super Bowl just to see what would happen. And I was Jimmy Garoppolo. I dropped back, threw a 6-yard curl pattern, and he missed the guy by 6 yards to the right.
Well, that just means you suck at Madden.
All I did was hit a button.
I think that's all that means.
It made me doubt Garoppolo even more than I
I
already
think
did.
it means that you're just freaking terrible at Madden.
Yeah, that could be. That could be. The Chiefs back in the Super Bowl for the first time since 1970 when they beat Minnesota 23-7. MVP was Lenny Dawson for the Kansas City Chiefs back in that game. Andy Reid back in the Super Bowl for the first time since 2004 when he was the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. They lost to the New England Patriots. Here's head coach of the Chiefs, Andy Reid, talking about being here before.
You've been there, right? So you've been through it, so you kind of know what to expect. So I don't know if that's calming, but it's I know what to expect, and normally that's okay. Normally that's a good thing. You respect it and appreciate it probably even a little bit more than I did back then. I appreciated them, but I think it's even more now. I think they're well coached. I think they're a real good football team, and they're solid on both sides of the ball and special teams. So, but that's what you get when you're the last two teams going. I mean, that's what you expect. And we're in it for the challenge, and this is a great challenge, and that's why we do what we do.
Andy Reid looking good in that red, though.
I have a theory about Andy Reid.
Oh, yeah?
I was thinking about this the other day. With LSU this year, we talked a lot about like the inevitability of it, and it felt like they were fated to kind of get there all the way. And Ed Orgeron was the guy who was at the helm, and coming into the season, everybody's like, "Oh, this guy's a clown. We're done with him. He's not that good." Da da da. And then they run the table. Andy Reid. What if he's the NFL's Ed Orgeron? Like longtime offensive line coach, kind of a comical-looking guy. In the middle of all these memes, people make fun of him for looking like the Kool-Aid Man. When he was a little kid, he was in that punt, pass, and kick thing where he's 8 times the size of all the other children. And then he gets to the NFL, and he's okay. He's had some good years, some bad years, lost the Super Bowl, and sort of like Ed Orgeron was kind of around, had some bad times at Ole Miss and okay at USC, at other places. But now – all of a sudden, everything has clicked into place, and the Chiefs are running the table this year. And maybe this is Andy's year.
One thing they both have in common, too, quarterback.
True.
Yeah. And how important is that?
Lights out quarterback.
Andy Reid, we talked a little bit about it last week, and you look at when he got there with Philadelphia and the situation Donovan McNabb was in and thrown up on the field and just didn't feel well. He had a wide receiver with a broken foot. Right now he's got a guy. Yeah. He's got the guy
who's healthy
that can win it for you.
Yeah, and you can trust him. I think like the same with Burrow, the way you felt like going into that championship game. Even when they started slow in that game, you're like, all right, we'll be fine. And the Chiefs have had that a couple of times in this playoff where they come out and they're behind, and all of a sudden you blink and they've scored 48 points or whatever. Like I feel like this feels like, sorry, Roser, this feels like a Andy Reid redemption Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, you're an idiot. So, whatever.
So there's that.
Logic.
Yeah. By the way, it's
wait till my picks. Nothing makes sense about my picks. Fish, I changed some stuff up. I let Kimball know, though.
There are odds out there of Kyle Shanahan blowing a 28-3 lead. I mean, how do you bet that he's going to blow a 28-3 lead? I mean, what are the chances that it's 28-3?
I'd bet
first of all, and then
the Chiefs have gotten down in a bunch of these games and come roaring back.
That's true. That is
right.
True.
But like, do the Chiefs like don't kick field goals?
That's also true. Yeah.
You're first thinking that the Chiefs would have to have 3 points,
right?
And they score
touchdowns.
They
don't do that very often. Yeah. San Francisco, third team in Super Bowl after winning 4 or fewer games the previous year. Cincinnati did that in 1988. St. Louis Rams in 1999. Cincinnati lost the Super Bowl to San Francisco. St. Louis won the Super Bowl over the Tennessee Titans. First Super Bowl for the Niners in 7 years. Their 7th appearance as a franchise. Their head coach is Kyle Shanahan. He talks about getting here.
I mean, if you would have told me this when I was in middle school, I would have said that's a dream come true. So, you get into the NFL and you stop thinking about that stuff because there's 32 teams and you're doing whatever you can just to get that opportunity and stuff. And just the way it worked out and the way everything lined up, it is pretty special to sit and think about. You don't really know what it's like till you go through it. Our players got experience now at the playoffs. They're going to get experience here at the Super Bowl. And, people will tell you all about it, but you got to go through it. So I'm very thankful that you got 2 weeks to do it. I do think it's crazy when you get down there for the week. And that's what was nice for, just growing up, watching my dad go through it a lot and then being able to go through it myself with the Falcons. Just seeing it firsthand how important it is really to take advantage of this first week. For us, we can't get caught up in an event. It's just the game.
But it's hard. It's hard not to.
It's an event.
I mean, from the event Monday night to the media sessions that you have throughout the week to the goofy late night interview people who are asking you questions you've never heard before in your life and you don't even know how to respond, to just how big the whole thing, to walking into the stadium and see, it's different. Everything about this week is different than anything that you've ever done, and until you've gone through it, you don't really grasp how different it is.
No. It's just a game. We're just gonna
you could say it all you want, but it's not.
It's just a game. It'll be fine.
That's how the coaches, that's how they have to act. And I think where both teams will benefit is that you have coaches that have been there before. And I think the 49ers, they do have veterans that have been there. Sherman's been there and won. Joe Staley's been to one before. So you do have veterans on both sides of the ball that you can lean on.
Yeah, Sherman, we can make fun of Sherman a little bit, but in his confidence, and he's great. But he's huge this week for that team because he has been there. He has seen it. He knows what to expect, and they've got to lean on guys like that. They got to lean on Kyle Shanahan, who's been there before and knows what to expect. But I think players more so than anything else. Coaches could tell you all day. But as a player, it's still different. And for other players to be able to give you those experiences, I think that's huge for the 49ers.
I'm waiting for Tyreek Hill to do something stupid in Miami. He's got an entire week.
I mean, Eugene Robinson did.
We've seen that happen before. Yeah, no doubt about it.
The Falcons were there. That's what Eugene Robinson got arrested the night before the game.
I remember when the 49ers played the Ravens in New Orleans, and I woke up Super Bowl Sunday, and I'm looking on Twitter, and TMZ has video of, 6 49ers starters leaving the Penthouse Club at 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, you dudes got to play a game in 12 hours. What are y'all doing?
The biggest game.
What are y'all doing?
It's just a regular game day.
Just a regular game, man. Yeah. Nothing to worry about, nothing to see here. And it's only in Miami. Nothing really going on there.
No, nothing.
I mean, the good thing is in Miami, you can't get around. The traffic's so horrible on South Beach. So, they probably can't get in that much trouble. Now, I bet you they're not staying in Miami.
No.
They got to be staying in Fort Lauderdale.
Coral Gables. They're outside of South Beach.
Yeah.
The teams won't be in South Beach. But, and South Beach is, the last Super Bowl I went to in South Beach, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, just empty, dead. Because everyone who lives on South Beach, they basically move.
Yeah.
And all the sales for hotels and everything, it's basically you have to buy them for the whole week.
Yeah.
But most people don't get down there until Thursday.
Yeah.
So come Thursday, you can't get around South Beach. It's insanity.
You can't get around South Beach anyway.
Normally. Yeah, absolutely. So it'll be fun. 1.5 point favorite for the Chiefs, total at 53.5. We're going to get Lance Taylor's thoughts when we return here on The Odds Couple. It's Super Bowl week here on The Odds Couple, and we're back after this timeout on Grind City Media.
The professional bull riders are bucking at FedEx Forum for the first time in over 6 years. The world's toughest riders and rankest bulls invade Memphis on February 15th for a night of non-stop bone-crushing action and entertainment. Tickets start at $15. Get the best seats now at PBR.com or Ticketmaster.com. Come watch the toughest sport on dirt. Don't miss history at the Professional Bull Riders Memphis Invitational.
Comedian, actor, and producer Nick Cannon is bringing his Nick Cannon Presents Wild 'N Out live tour to FedEx Forum on Thursday, March 26th. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or the FedEx Forum box office. But it's FedExForum.com for more details.
The world-famous Harlem Globetrotters will bring their all-new show, Pushing the Limits, to FedEx Forum Saturday, February 1st. Don't miss your chance to experience hilarious hijinks and incredible basketball. The Harlem Globetrotters are a one-of-a-kind experience, putting a new spin on family time. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or the FedEx Forum box office.
For the first time in 25 years, the Doobie Brothers, Tom Johnston, Michael McDonald, Pat Simmons, and John McPhee, 50th Anniversary Tour. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees, the Doobie Brothers, with special guest, Dirty Dozen Brass Band. FedEx Forum, Saturday, October 17th. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. Welcome back to GrindCityMedia.com, live from FedEx Forum and the American Home Shield Studio. Now, here's more of the Odds Couple, Rob Fischer and Lang Whitaker.
It's time, Memphis. Join John Morant, Tyus Jones, and your Memphis Grizzlies Monday, February 3rd at 7 p.m. as they play host to the Detroit Pistons. You won't want to miss the Grizzlies donning their Hardwood Classic Vancouver jerseys on their all-new old-school court. Get Memphis and get your tickets today to see your next-gen Grizz by calling 901-888-HOOP or clicking online at grizzlies.com. Super Bowl 54 upon us this Sunday, the Chiefs and the Niners. Tyreek Hill, Kansas City wide receiver, talking about the matchup.
They definitely a different team. I believe the front seven is definitely the strength of the team, and then just obviously like their whole defense, like the way that they play, the way that they rally to the ball is tremendous. So we just got to continue what we've been doing all year and just playing Chiefs ball, man. Oh, I just go home and I play Madden, man. So I like play my own Super Bowl. I play the Chiefs versus the 49ers, and I just get my thing going. Of course, I'm throwing myself the ball, so you know, Every Chiefs every time. It's on rookie though. I play on rookie, so don't judge me. Don't nobody judge me. I play on rookie, man.
You got to go all Madden. That's not doing it. Rookie.
Tyreek Hill over under for receiving yards 73.5. Joining us now, he joins us each week here on The Odds Couple. He's a host of the Roundtable on WJOX in Birmingham. He's on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor, and you can get his picks daily at lanceslock.com. Lance Taylor joins us here on The Odds Couple. Hello, Lance.
Hey, happy Super Bowl week to you fellas.
Happy Super Bowl week. I was saying earlier, when you cover these games, usually throughout the week, your pick can change from day to day, going one side or the other based on people you talk to or just being around or overthinking it too much. Have you been on the fence at all in the last couple of weeks?
You know, Rob, I haven't. You know, unfortunately, though, for anybody that follows me, I just traditionally am awful in Super Bowls. I mean, for whatever reason, I just historically am complete garbage when it comes to Super Bowls. I mean, example, I had the LA Rams, and they went for a historic Super Bowl low 3 points last year. So I just traditionally, I had the Falcons when they had the 28-3 meltdown, and believe it or not, did not get the cover in overtime there against New England. Then I had New England against Philadelphia. I mean, it's just every single year. It literally, I'm about 1 out of 5 on Super Bowls. But I feel good about this one, and this is a team I've been talking about since September. So I really feel good about the side, and there's a couple of props I like.
Props are always a fun part of the game. What would you recommend our props to really look at? Is it the national anthem over under or actual game props?
You know, sadly, I do like the under on Demi Lovato's rendition.
I do too.
I just think she's going to be a little nervous. I mean, she's got some social anxiety, and I think for her to be singing on that stage, I really do. I think she's going to rush through it.
I actually haven't.
If I'm scientifically breaking this down with my history of Demi Lovato, that's what I think is going to happen with that.
I don't know.
I have notes on this.
But she can't. But she's singing to a track. She can't speed it up or slow it down.
When she did McGregor Mayweather, she went well over the 2 minutes. Yeah. But every outdoor rendition she's ever done has gone under 2 minutes. She also, the word brave at the end, brave, it's 5.5 seconds over under, by the way, on the word brave. She apparently does 3 different notes on the word brave, but it's a quick cutoff at the end. So the value play there is the under. You get plus 135 on the under, 5.5 seconds on the word brave. So there's some other scientific stuff. On both. Yeah, and another thing to remember too, Whitney Houston's national anthem at the Super Bowl, which felt like it took 6 minutes. That one was only 2 minutes on the nose. So, I mean, you really have to go slow to hit an over on the anthem.
But also,
over 2 minutes.
For these artists, this is the biggest stage of their career.
That's true.
For Demi Lovato, this is her biggest chance to be in the spotlight. So, like, why not stretch it out?
Social anxiety. Lane's already told you.
Sorry.
All right, let's get to a couple of those props. What are some of the props you like for the players?
Well, you know, the longest touchdown scored is 44.5 right now. And you take a look at these teams. I mean, the Chiefs had 42 passing plays this season of 25-plus yards. 49ers right behind them with 39. You also look at opportunistic defenses and what they've got in the return game. From, you know, Hardeman to possibly Hill in some situations to James. I think it's worth taking a flyer going over the 44.5 on the longest touchdown.
Yeah, and I think one that's interesting too, Raheem Mostert, he opened up at 81.5 rushing yards 81.5 rushing yards, and apparently within 30 minutes it went down to 75.5 because of all the money that came in on the under. He's only had 3 games this season where he's gone over 80 yards, and one was in week 2 against Cincinnati.
He's an unpredictable guy, and they've got running back by committee, so Coleman could be that guy. Britta could be that guy. I mean, there's other options, and let's not forget, Mostert just signed a contract this past week, and typically when people sign contracts, for whatever reason, it's like a negative effect, at least immediately. So I think I would lean that under as well.
As far as the game is concerned, 1.5, Chiefs favored over the 49ers this week. We talked a little bit about it a little earlier. You know, the matchup you look at is the Chiefs' offense against the San Francisco defense. Both are very dynamic. You have to look at the other side. Really, I think, is where you could start wavering your decision on who you're going to pick this week.
You know, I've been on this San Francisco team all year, and I said after week 3 I thought they were the best team in the NFL. I'm sticking with it. You know, I think how physical they are, not only on the defensive side, but on the offensive side. And they've been running downhill in this postseason, and I think Garoppolo is a guy, if he needs to, I think he can take a game over, and especially against this Chiefs defense. I think George Kittle's going to have a nice afternoon. You know, I look at the Chiefs. They've fallen behind double digits in last of their two playoff games. And I think if you get down double digits to this San Francisco team, I don't see them clawing out of this hole. And Pat Mahomes, as good as he's been in the postseason, he's only had 2 300 passing yard games in his last 8 games. So I could even see Mahomes struggle against the San Francisco defense. So I do like San Francisco plus the 1.5 here.
Yeah, San Francisco feels like one of those teams. I think you're exactly right. You fall down double digits to San Francisco, it feels like a mountain. You know, other teams, you feel like, okay, we got time. We could come back. We got a great offense. But against San Francisco, and then not only falling behind and having to face that defense, but then falling behind and having to face the San Francisco offense that could take so much time off the clock, too.
Right, yeah. I think that's a no-win proposition for Andy Reid in Kansas City. They need to come out. They need to get up early. And I just got a feeling that San Francisco is going to win this game by double digits. But, again, historically, guys, I'm awful.
And Lance, I'm praying this is the 1 out of the 5 you get right. Praying this is the one.
I'm about to. I mean, I will tell you, the last time was when it was Peyton Manning's last Super Bowl. It was his Denver finale against, was it against Cam Newton or was it against Seattle? I forgot which one it was. I think it was against Cam Newton,
Yeah, Denver. Yeah, Peyton's final. Yeah, it was against Cam Newton.
Lance is going to give Roser social anxiety.
That was it, Roser. It was the last Peyton Manning was actually playing football the last time I had a Super Bowl.
Do you think which side you're on team-wise would correlate with how you would decide on the over-under?
You know, I think the total is tough. You know, 54.5 just looks too low, especially with Kansas City involved in this game. If I was going to play the under, I think I would play the under Chiefs 27.5. And again, I go back to Pat Mahomes, only 2 300 passing yard games his last 8 games out. They're going against probably the best defense that they've seen. San Fran was second in the NFL in allowing, you know, less than 2.5 red zone trips per game. So, you know, I just think this San Francisco defense is legitimate. So if I was going to play the total, I probably would play a team side because I do think San Francisco is going to be able to score here. I think I would play under the Chiefs 27.5.
Yeah, and I think if you're on the Kansas City side of this game, that you might go over because if you think Kansas City's going to win and be a double-digit win, possibly, you'd think they're going to score a lot of points.
Yeah, look, it's so hard to play this under 54.5. Yeah. And again, with San Francisco or with Kansas City involved and with the ability on special teams, and you know, there's just a lot of factors. But you know, 80+% of the money right now on the over, so that does give me a little reason to be a little hesitant on it.
MVP if San Francisco wins, who's the MVP?
I think it's going to be George Kittle. I know that sounds crazy, but, you know, I mean, if Kittle puts up numbers, Garoppolo's going to put up numbers, but I've just got a feeling that George Kittle's going to take this game over offensively.
Roser is he is so fired up.
Roser just took his shirt off.
He is excited about this one.
It's
for
our
sure.
time. It's our time.
Well, Lance is lock.com. I'm sure you got a lot of stuff this week going on, and with people go to the website.
Yeah, college basketball, the NBA, full effect right now. Obviously, we'll have props up. We'll have side and total of Super Bowl 54. So it's really simple. I mean, it's less than $3 a day, $90 a month. Jump on board. We get free play every day. you can monitor us. Just go to lanceslock.com. That's lanceslock.com.
Sounds great, man. Hey, next week we'll recap it. Good luck with your pick this week, and we've enjoyed it all season, man.
Yeah, I love it, guys. Talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Lance.
All right, Lance Taylor joining us again. That's lanceslock.com.
Just for what it's worth.
At the Lance Taylor on Twitter.
I just looked it up. You know the last tight end to win Super Bowl MVP?
Len Dawson. No.
Anyone?
I don't.
It's never happened.
Never happened.
Never happened.
Okay. All right. You ready? Time. You ready to hear from Richard Sherman?
Yeah.
I mean, we have to,
Always.
right?
Yeah,
Right? All
for
right.
sure.
Here's another shocker. Richard Sherman, San Francisco cornerback, talking about he is playing with confidence.
I think confidence in this league, just in general, is one of the most important things. That's what allows great players to be great, and that's what kind of hampers and keeps other players from being great or reaching their potential, is because you either get confidence early or you lose it. And once you lose it, it's hard to find again. But once you have it, it's hard to take from you. It doesn't really matter what you did in the past. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, my God, your Seattle days was so cool. I was like, I'm about to show you even better. You know, it's because it's not about what you've done in the past. It's what I can show you now. And what I'm going to show you now is the best product that I'm going to put out on the field. But I've enjoyed it. You know, it's a lot of great players, great teammates. A lot of guys that have grown tremendously since I've gotten here, and you know, I think we've enjoyed this journey.
I'm surprised. Defensive players don't win MVP of Super Bowls either. Generally, I mean they have, but they don't generally.
Twice in the last 10 years.
If there's one guy, you'd think Ray Lewis. You know, when he was there with the Ravens, Ray Lewis jumps out of your mind. If there's one guy you look at both of these teams and think a defensive player could win it, and mainly to win it, I think you have to have the name. And then you have to make something happen.
Like Von Miller had the name.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to go in with the name going into the game.
Malcolm Smith did not really.
Unless you come up with something crazy.
Dexter Jackson.
Right.
Larry Allen.
Sherman's 10,000 plus 10,000.
Ooh, I like it.
Not to give any picks away.
I think our guy Chris Vernon also kind of likes Nick Bosa. He's got the name. Bosa
plus
has
2,500.
Yeah,
for Bosa. Yeah, that's a good one too.
What if you're on the losing team?
No, then you forget it.
All right.
I know it's happened too. All right, here's some props. You ready? Raheem Mostert, his over under 81.5 rushing yards.
James Harden shot attempts.
He had 220 in the NFC title, 146 against Baltimore in Week 13, 83 against Cincinnati in Week 2. That's it. It's the only times that he's gone over 80 yards.
I mean, look at his attempts. I mean, other than these games in the playoffs, specifically that Packers game, you don't get a ton of attempts. In the Ravens game, he got a lot of attempts,
right?
And he made the most of it too.
Mahomes 300
of it.
Oh boy. Mahomes 308.5 passing yards. Only 8 games over 300 yards a season. First 5 games of the year, he went over 300. Just once in the last 4, and as Lance pointed out, 2 times in the last 8. Averaged 288 yards per game. That's 20 yards less than what the over-under is here in the Super Bowl.
All of this stuff is really affected by who you think is going to win the game. Because if you think the Chiefs are going to have a lead, then the 49ers aren't going to be running the ball, 25 times in the last 3 quarters of the game. They're going to be trying to come back. So same way, like I think if the Chiefs get ahead, then there's a chance Mahomes might not put up that many yards because they're just going to nurse it.
Yeah. Garoppolo, meanwhile, his passing yards 239.5. 10 times this year he went over 239.5, including 2 of the last 4. He averaged 248.6. So his average is higher than what this total is for the Super Bowl. Which
I think that number they probably put it at that number because of how they've run the ball in the first 2 games.
More completions, Mahomes minus 6.5 against Garoppolo. Average this season, Garoppolo 20.6 per game, Mahomes 22.8 per game. Mahomes favored by 6.5.
Yeah, feels a little high.
Mahomes favored by 69.5 yards.
Nice.
Over Garoppolo. Yeah.
Feels about right.
By the way, we mentioned the
halftime.
Well, not yet. The Shanahan deal.
Yeah.
At Sportsbook Points Bet, Shanahan is a 100-1 to blow another 28-3 lead.
That feels low.
Longest touchdown, 45.5 at Caesars. William Hill is offering 9,999 to 1. Put $1 down, man.
Yeah.
William Hill's offering 9,999 to 1 for the Chiefs to score exactly 4 points.
That's worth $1.
Yeah, totally.
They get 2 safeties.
No team has ever scored 4 points in the history of the NFL.
I mean, to score 4 points, also that means they just get destroyed, probably. So
4?
Yeah.
4? You get destroyed, but you have 2 safeties?
Unless you could get a field goal and like run back a blocked extra point or something.
You may be able
I think you get 2 for that, though.
Do you?
I
You may
think.
be, and you may be
Nobody
able to
maybe 2 of those.
You may be able to double down a little bit if you also have money on the first score of the game being a safety.
Well, safety's always a good bet. 6-1, not bad to take a shot at it. Also, overtime is 8-1. Not terrible to take a shot at that either, especially with the line being as close as it is. The most popular Super Bowl prop bet, of course, is the heads or tails, coin flip, 50-50 odds there. Over 50% of the bets last year in the Super Bowl were on heads.
Yeah, it's not 50-50 odds that it's going to come up heads or tails, though. Like if you flip a coin 100 times, it's always something like 59% of the time it's heads.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. 50% of the bets are on heads. 70% of the money is on tails.
Oh,
so, a little reverse thing there, right? All right, the over-under on Demi Lovato is 2 minutes. We gave you all those notes. Brave, the word brave, 5.5 seconds. Now, some of the halftime wagers. All right, and these are real. I'm not making these up. These are real halftime wagers. J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, and Shakira, they're doing the halftime. J-Lo will change her wardrobe 2.5 times, over at -140, under at +120. You got to think in the first song she's probably changing once already.
Yeah.
And probably for the end, that's 2.
I think 2.
Is
Three's aggressive.
Are there odds for a nip slip, a Janet moment?
We'll get there.
Okay. Oh, there is. Yes.
Will Enrique Iglesias show up on the halftime show?
No.
For yes, you get +500. No, it's -900. So
that's a lock.
See, that kind of stuff is tough because they already know something. Putting those numbers out, like those people already know something.
Like DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
Yes, +170.
I mean, you can't open a coffee shop in Miami without DJ Khaled showing up. Like he's involved in everything in South Florida.
Here's one that I think is a good bet. Gloria Estefan.
Yeah.
It's Miami. She's everywhere in Miami.
That's
she always
true.
shows up somehow.
She owns the restaurant at the Heat Arena, the one behind it. Yeah.
And you can get +500 on her showing up.
Yeah.
So I think Gloria Estefan's a good one there. Mark Anthony gets a +400 on yes.
I don't know. He's an X. You know.
I know.
That's tough. That
That's
makes it tough.
+300 on Will Smith showing up.
I could see that.
If Bad Boys hadn't come out already, I would put more money
that's
on that.
true.
But it's
That's
out
good.
now. Like he's done.
Here's the one that seems automatic. Pitbull.
Yeah.
For yes, it's -200.
Wow.
For him showing up during the halftime show. No, it's +150.
I hope it's no.
Pitbull is single, bilingual, and ready to mingle. So he could show up.
I hope it's no and never again.
Ricky Martin showing up.
Yeah.
+300 on the yes.
He's got to.
Right. Will J-Lo and Shakira twerk? Yes, +190. No, -290.
What do they define as twerk?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
Shakira
that's
will
what I'm
move her
thinking, too.
hips. I mean, she's
Both
got
are going to be
songs.
moving the hips.
Yeah, hips don't lie.
They don't lie.
Yeah.
But I agree with Roser. Like then we get into what is a twerk.
I mean, a twerk to me is like hands on the knees and you're popping it.
Please.
And you're popping.
Show us, Roser.
If anyone's watching this can walk up to a sports book this week, even down in Tunica,
ask,
just ask.
Can I get a ruling on the twerk?
Can I get a ruling on what qualifies as a twerk?
Will Shakira and J-Lo kiss? Yes is +700. No is -2,000.
No. I mean, if this is the MTV Awards, that's a conversation. This is the NFL.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
NFL
true.
is not going to have any of this shenanigans.
Right. And then here's this one is, again, this is real. Will J-Lo show cleavage? +250.
Cleavage?
I say absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah,
100%. Will Shakira show cleavage?
Yeah.
That is also +250. Will both show cleavage? That's -250. So it's J-Lo only +250, Shakira only +250. Both of them -250.
Yeah.
Neither is +550.
Yeah. No thanks.
And then another one to ask your local sports book, to ask the person at the window, can you define butt cleavage? Will J-Lo show butt cleavage? Yes, plus 250. No, minus 400.
I mean, her butt is so big. Like, if she's wearing shorts, the butt cleave's showing no matter what.
The butt cleave.
Yeah.
I mean, also,
She's got that BC is going to be rocking.
I mean, the question is what is butt cleavage? You know, like J-Lo's butt cleavage is Roser's wedgie.
Yeah, I mean, I think like just a little bit of cheek. She's going to show some cheek.
Bottom cheek?
With her pants pulled up, she shows a little cheek.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I that one you'd have to have definition.
Yeah.
And what if she's wearing white and it's like see-through? Does that count?
I think she'll be wearing like long pants
to start.
No, probably the.
I think she ends up with
slacks, not slacks.
See, I would go no on the. I can't believe this is a discussion. I would go no on the butt cleavage because J-Lo to me seems like she would end with like some sort of like leotard thing.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
it's possible. I mean,
some sort of leotard.
J-Lo will. I think J-Lo will show the butt cleave. She'll rock some BC.
I have a prop.
Some B cleave.
Which 49ers player jersey will Roser wear on Super Bowl Sunday?
Oh,
that's easy.
Is it Jimmy?
No. I'm gonna wear Kittle. I've worn Kittle all throughout the playoffs.
Okay.
We'll wear it again, and we're wearing white. So my Kittle jersey's white.
Duh.
I'll be wearing Kittle.
So you're saying
like
you'll be wearing white, so there's a chance we'll get some butt cleave from Roser.
Well, my pants are not white.
What will you be wearing on Super Bowl Sunday?
I might not even watch the game.
What? That's not true.
Okay, I'll watch.
I'm going to be wearing my Chiefs.
I'll be wearing nothing.
Okay.
You're going to watch it naked. Great. That's an image.
Those odds are amazing. We'll take a break here on the Odds Couple. Come back. Our picks for Super Bowl 54 coming back after this timeout on Grind City Media.
The voice, the hits, the tour. The wait is over. Celine Dion, Courage, World Tour. February 9th, FedEx Forum. The first North American tour in over a decade. Reserve seats on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Celine Dion. Produced by Concerts West. Get tickets now. Having sold more than 100 million records worldwide, the iconic Cher returns. Here We Go Again Tour 2020, performing hits spanning her entire career. FedEx Forum, March 16th. Featuring special guests Nile Rodgers and Chic. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. For more, visit Cher.com.
Art, sound, and sensory overload. Tool Live. Friday, January 31st, FedEx Forum. The new album, Fear Inoculum, out now. Tool. Get your tickets on sale now at LiveNation.com. Tool, presented by Live Nation.
Welcome back to the Odds Couple on GrindCityMedia.com. Live from FedEx Forum and the American Home Shield Studio. Here's the Odds Couple, Rob Fischer and Lang Whitaker.
The Grizzlies and Pinnacle Financial Partners are looking to grow local Memphis businesses with the GrizzBiz Challenge. From soap to beer to financial services and everything in between, businesses looking to grow can pitch their business plans to the panel of select judges. The winner will be awarded a 6-figure partnership with the Grizzlies, courtesy of Pinnacle Financial Partners. Visit grizzlies.com/GrizzBizChallenge for more information and to apply before the January 31st deadline. Welcome back to the Odds Couple. Super Bowl 54 is upon us, coming up this week on Sunday. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Chiefs, 1.5-point favorite, total at 53.5. Quarterback of the Chiefs is Patrick Mahomes. Talks about the preparation for the week.
For me, it's just about talking to Coach Reed, talking to Suggs, all these guys that have been in these games, getting a feel for it, having to run out of the tunnel and then wait around a little bit before you get going, and kind of building and kind of containing your emotions and being able to get there and really just play football when it comes down to it. Obviously, they have a ton of playmakers on the defensive line, linebackers, and secondary. But they have guys that have had experience, and they have young guys that are super talented. And so you can see that. And, they're very sound in what they do and the coverages that they play. And so for us, it's about just having to execute at a high level and knowing it's going to be a great challenge on every single play. The mentality of these guys in this locker room is that we want to get the big one, not fall short. We want to make sure that we're going to the Super Bowl and that we can win it and not regret not preparing or doing whatever it takes to do that. And I think it's a long build for these next week and a half, but we're going to build every single day of just taking advantage of it and hopefully getting there and playing our best football and trying to find a way to win the football game.
Not Patrick Mahomes.
He seems like a guy to me, though. He won't be rattled.
No.
No.
I don't think he has emotions. Just from listening to him talk,
Right.
he was saying that you got to control your emotions. And I was thinking, what is he talking about?
Yeah, he just seems like a guy. He's prepared. He'll be ready to go, and it won't be too big of a stage for him.
No, definitely not.
If he's bad, it's going to be because of San Francisco's defense, not because of him. On the other side, Jimmy Garoppolo. He talks about his preparation and also the Chiefs.
When you get down there, especially the media availability, all the requirements and obligations that you have to do, I think just having been through that and obviously being a starter, it's a little different with time management and everything. But just having seen all that, being up close and personal with it, I think all that will help me. I think I just be myself, let it come naturally. I never try to, go outside the box and, do something that isn't myself, because I think guys see right through that and just they'll think it's fake and can't be that way. Guys in this, guys are smart in there, and so they'll see right through you. But I think at the end of the day, you got to be yourself. Talented group, they really are. It starts up front, 95-55. They got other guys that could get after it too, but just their overall team speed, they mix it up in coverages. They try not to give you anything easy, and so it makes it difficult on us.
It's going to be an interesting game. What a stud, Jimmy.
Such a stud.
Mm-hmm. All right, time for our picks. I'll go ahead and start. Fish is 5.
Let's go.
I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs minus the 1.5. I think they'll be able to score. I think San Francisco will be able to score as well. I just don't think San Francisco will be able to score enough. I like 34-24 Chiefs over the Niners, which means I'm taking the over, the 54.5 as well. If the Chiefs score 34 and they win the game, Patrick Mahomes will be the MVP. I'm going with the under on Mahomes' passing yards, however. He just hasn't gotten there a lot. And I think with the Niners' defense, he might be flushed out to run even more so than anticipated. And I like Mostert under the 81.5 rushing yards. San Francisco is going to have to throw if they're playing from behind. And with Mostert only going over the 80 yards 3 times this season, I just think that's the smart play. So I'll go under the 81.5 for him as well. Langs, locks.
I think it's a little bit lower scoring, 24-21, something like that. So, I picked KC also, but I think I took the under on the points. MVP, I actually submitted this before Media Day, and I went with Honey Badger because I was thinking it's been a while since there's been a defensive player as the MVP. If it's a close game, maybe somebody makes a big play, changes it. And then did you see what Honey Badger tweeted last night after Media Day? I would like to thank all the media members for coming out and being respectful. Great questions. I had such a good time.
Okay.
He's already sucking up to the voters for this thing. So, and Peter King was like, this is such a great thing for you to tweet. This was a terrific young man. I'm like, all right, here we go.
One big play.
Honey Badger needs one play. Maybe it's something weird, special teams. I don't know, an interception. Honey Badger's on the hook for me. So, and then I also went over on Dijon Mostert because I was just thinking what else are they going to do? Pass it to Kittle and what else? So I go over for him, but I think the Chiefs win this thing and probably pretty close.
All right, Roser's wagers.
Roser's changed his bets.
None of this makes sense. Just watch.
Okay.
I've picked against the 49ers to not cover the spread in both playoff games so far, so I'm going to reverse my pick, and I'm going to pick Kansas City minus the 1.5.
Is it because Lance?
No, it's because I have picked against the 49ers to not cover the spread in every game so far, and it's in the 2 playoff games, it's worked out for me. So I'm going to pick against them again.
All right.
I'm going to take Kansas City to cover the 1.5, but under the 54.5. Richard Sherman wins MVP. Patrick Mahomes goes over 304.5 passing yards, and Raheem Mostert goes under the 81.5 rushing yards.
At this point,
it does not make sense.
Roser is just like a quivering pile of emotion.
Yes, I really am.
He's about to spontaneously combust at any moment.
It sure looks like it.
And it's only like early in the week. Like, we
I
got
know.
a week.
It's only Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday,
It's
right?
Thursday. No.
Yeah, it's Thursday. That's right. I'm on
Look at you. You're a mess.
I'm on my way to New Orleans.
Come on, bro.
I'm watching Grizz Pels on Friday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Well, good. Look forward to
I'll
it.
be there tonight.
Really?
Yeah, I'll be there tonight. So if you want to get some lunch on Friday.
Yeah, man. Acme Oyster House.
I love it.
We'll hit it up.
At the Harrah's or the actual original one?
No, the original.
Okay.
Right there on whatever road.
They
that
got
is.
one at the Harrah's, too.
Well, yeah, all right, that's going to do it for us here on the Odds Couple this week. Super Bowl 54. Enjoy it. And how about them Chiefs? Huh?
Bang, bang, Niner gang! Shout out to E40. Shout out to Schoolboy Q.
I'll be thinking about both you guys.
Thank you, Lang.
I'll be watching America's Funniest Home Videos Sunday night.
That's all right.
And naked, as he told us
That's
earlier.
right, and we'll be texting you, so it'll be good. All right, that's going to do it for the Odds Couple this week. Super Bowl 54. Enjoy it, everyone. We'll recap it next week for you here on the Odds Couple. For Lance Taylor, for Roser, for Kimball, for Lang, I'm Fish. Have a great weekend.
You've been listening to The Odds Couple from the American Home Shield Studio on GrindCityMedia.com. Tune in next week for more football handicapping with Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.